We all know how much more a visit to the supermarket costs these days. What with the soaring costs of kumara and $20 blocks of cheese. We had an email from one of our viewers yesterday which got us thinking. Sue from Gizzy said her family of 2 adults and 1 child don't have any extras. No coffees, takeaways, trips away, and their rent is cheap. They have just $130 left for groceries each week. Sue said if things get any worse, they'll be screwed. So we wondered what $130 would actually buy these days. So into an online shopping trolley we went. We put in bread and milk, fruit and veggies, some meat, cereal, eggs and loo roll. About 24 items in total. The cost, $132.21. Shortly, nutritionist Claire Turnbull will give us her feedback on our choices with some great tips we can all use to make our dollars go further in the supermarket. But first, we're joined by Lara Dolan from the Mangere Budgeting Service Trust, who says many families are surviving on far less than $130 and some have no money at all to feed their families, Lara.
That is correct, Marty. What we can see, family having budget of $200 and they have 5 children to feed.
Wow.
And their weekly budget is still positive, which is really good. But $130 for food is subjective. It all depends on person's ability to manage budget and potentially clear ability to cook on a budget.
Yeah, honestly, maybe it spoke to my privilege, but I looked at that and I just thought, I don't know how you would be able to feed a family of 3 for $130.
Yeah, that's one of the things, is that it's knowing the swaps and the alternatives and what you can buy that is nutritious and low cost. But a lot of this is actually also about knowing how to cook.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the foods that are cheap and highly processed and that people are buying on a daily basis are are not nutritionally sound, are not nutritionally good, but you need to know how to use the alternatives.
And I guess that's the biggest concern. If you don't have a lot of money in the bank, if you are working long hours to try and afford what little you can afford, often you just think, I don't have the time or the energy to actually spend time in the kitchen at night time. I'm just going to make this quick and easy for the family, but that's not necessarily the most nutritious way to do it, Claire.
No, and a lot of people work shifts that you work
right.
with.
Lots of people are working shift, and also lots of people even don't have job and don't have money to buy food.
Yeah.
We operate in a food bank, and in our food parcels we do provide some staple food for families in need, but it could be potentially way better.
Is it getting worse as well, Lara? Is it getting tougher for people?
Marty, demand is very similar to last year.
Yep.
Like we issued 412 food parcels this March, and last year was 410. I would expect demand to go down because we're not in a COVID situation anymore. But I would say cost of living pressure put people in a hardship.
Yeah, we were talking about the CPI yesterday and the fact that economists are saying it could cost people about $150 more a week to live with that adjustment. That's going to be really tough for a lot of people.
It definitely will be tough for people. So my advice for everyone is to actually get in touch with budgeting services and learn how to manage your money, and Claire will have some good ideas.
Yeah, well, we were talking before about what can be done with food parcels to actually put food in there and actually almost do an education piece at the same time. So maybe putting a recipe in there with the items at the same time, because there's no point putting in lentils and chickpeas and kidney beans, which are fantastic and cheap and nutritious, if people don't know how to cook with them. Right?
Exactly.
So that's the piece. So I mean, I've got a couple of examples.
Please. I love this. Talk us through some of the ideas that you have that are cheap and easy that people can actually do some great things
and
with.
some of these are going in the food parcels already. So that bag of rolled oats there, $3.60, and there's 30 servings in that, right? So it's 25 cents a serving. And when you put that with milk or some, value or home brand raisins or something, you can make a breakfast, you can make a snack with that. Lentils, chickpeas, kidney beans. In other parts of the world, they are staple as their protein source, particularly where people are vegetarian in India and such likes. And they are, that is $1.50. A bag of that is of lentils that could make a meal for 8 people is around $2, $2.50. But you just need to know how to cook it.
Yeah, and so what kind of things would you do with that?
So you can make, with canned or pulses, you can make casseroles, you can make soups, you can make burgers, you can make dips. You can literally make almost an adapted version of most meals can be made with pulses. But it's knowing how to cook them, right? And then with, like in our family now, with 500 grams of mince, I can make 4 meals for 4 by using several onions, 2 or 3 carrots, 2 or 3 cans of pulses, and bulking it out into a massive big pot and then freezing it throughout the week, rather than fresh fish, using canned fish. When cabbages are cheap, making your own slaw is really good, because you can buy cabbage for $3 sometimes, right? And if it's a big cabbage, bag of carrots is relatively cheap. That's the salad base for the week. The other protein that I know that people have preconceived ideas about, but is tofu. But in desperate times, we need to actually just get rid of the preconception of what people think about tofu. I've been in nutrition for 20 years, and even I've only just kind of taught myself to love tofu, because it's so much cheaper than chicken. Nutrition-wise, it's got all the essential amino acids in it. It's just knowing how to use it, and you can use that in a variety of different ways. But it's, again, this education piece we talked about.
And is that a big part of what you guys are doing now, Lara, is trying to educate people about how important it is that they cook nutritiously?
Yeah, we are talking about it. When we pack in our food pack, we're just thinking about it. We can put tomato, we can put some meat in it, canned meat and stuff like that. But we're not at that stage yet where we can have some recipes. Maybe eventually someone like Claire potentially can help us.
Here we go.
We're feeling a bit of a collab going on.
We're ideas people, aren't we? And I love it. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming on and talking to us about this. It's a big talking point, so thank you for the tips, Claire. Really appreciate it. And Lara, thank you for your insight. That's Lara Dolan from the Mangere Budgeting Service, and nutritionist Claire Turnbull with us this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marty.